Good morning, and a very good welcome to Thought for the Day. Well, for those of you who tune in regularly, a bit of news, a bit of an update. A few weeks ago, I asked God for something for my birthday, and just letting you know that I received it yesterday. So, yeah, all is good. Yeah. But what I wanted to talk about on the Thought for the Day is I want to go back 40 odd years. And then I was in one of the two operational squadrons in the Royal Navy, one of them being the bombers, that's the nuclear submarines, and the other one being the Fishery Protection Squadron, and that's what I was on. And our job was what it sounds in the, it says on the tin, to protect the UK fisheries. Now remember, we just had the Cod Wars, which we sort of won, but we didn't win. So it was agreed by those in power that we'd have an actual squadron of ships that would protect our coastal waters so that our fishing fleet could actually fish. And those who were coming in to pinch our fish could actually get sorted out. And our job was to sort them out and to monitor that the fish stocks that were being taken were the right size fish and lots of things. But the story isn't about that. We used to be operational for 6 weeks and then in for a week and then out again for 6 weeks and then in for a week. And we're just returning from one of the 6 weeks sessions. Wrong word, session, but yeah. And I was going to say cruise, but it certainly wasn't a cruise. Sorry. And Elaine at that point was very heavily pregnant. And we arrived in after 6 weeks away. And generally, all those that lived locally were allowed off the ship, to go and say hello to their loved ones. But for reasons that became apparent later, which I wasn't really happy with at the time, I was made duty senior rate on the first night in, which was basically unheard of, but that's what happened. So I was duty senior rate, first night in, and Elaine was heavily pregnant. Now, the thing is, we knew what the baby was going to be. Now, go back 40 years ago, we didn't have all these fantastic test things and all the things that you have nowadays. And we certainly didn't hold a coin over her stomach, and if it turned one way, it was a boy and a girl, or if it went the other, whatever. But we knew it was going to be a girl, the baby was, because on the Aggie Weston's van, the next coloured picture was going to be a girl. They got boy, girl, boy, and the next one was going to be, obviously, a girl. Now, Aggie Weston's is, I think she still is a Christian organisation. Aggie Weston was a dear old Christian soul who believed that naval ratings in port needed to go somewhere. If they weren't in their home port, they needed to be somewhere else rather than either the Boozer or down the House of Ill Repute, both of which she wasn't happy with. So she set up these places, these houses, in the dockyards, outside the dockyards. And they were home from home. That's what they were designed for. And in Rosyth, where I was based, there was an Aggie Weston's. Wasn't one of the biggest ones, but it was a nice, comfortable one. And the people there who were missioners to Navy personnel were a couple called John and May Cropley. And Elaine, bless her heart, she was in Scotland, living in Scotland, no family around at all. She couldn't drive, and so the place that she spent a lot of time when she wasn't teaching piano was down at Aggie Weston's, and she became really great friends with the guys. And so, because in them days as well, you basically went to hospital to have a baby in a taxi. You booked it early and off you went. The Aggie Weston's minibus became the base's sort of taxi service for those young ladies whose partners weren't around to travel, to get them in to hospital. So that was what was going to happen. There was an arrangement already made. I didn't have to do anything. They were all sorted. They were going to take her in. And that's what happened. She went in early hours of the morning, and I received a message on board to say, your wife's gone in. John, I think May or John rang up and said, need to get an urgent message. So they did, because they had ways and means, and said, look, your wife's gone into hospital. Okay, says I. So I spoke to the coxswain, and he said, fine, as soon as your duty's finished, you can go, which is what happened. Child's home changed into all the clothes that had been laid out for me. So I got the pair of trousers that were laid out, my nice white shirt, all these different things, all laid out. So I got there and walked in the maternity unit, and where's Mrs. Bennett? She's in the private cubicle at the end. I went, okay, so I went down there, and the place was absolutely packed with people in white coats. And I was like, oh boy, what's going on here? So I wandered in, and they weren't really interested in Elaine. They were interested in this new box of tricks that had arrived, first time ever used in the hospital in Dunfermline, and it was a baby monitor, basically, a fetal monitor. And the way it worked was they had to stick this thing on my daughter's, as she became a daughter, on my daughter's head inside Elaine, and it did all the monitoring. And all these people were hovering around her and all over the place, and they weren't really interested in Elaine. They were just interested in this fantastic new piece of kit they got, which was a bit of a comfort afterwards to discover they weren't there because there was a problem. Every now and again, the machine would stop and go into a beep like that, and they'd go, oh, the baby, the baby. They'd all get excited. And there was a matron there, really old, lovely old matron. And she used to come along and says, out the way. And she'd go out and she'd listen through this thing she'd got, and she'd go, baby's fine. It's the monitor that doesn't work. And we went through this process quite a few times. And in the end, baby was born, and yes, baby was a girl. And so the Aggie Western bus was duly marked with another little stalk with a hamper, little bag hamper thing hanging to its mouth in pink. And if that bus still exists, which I seriously doubt, but if it does somewhere, or if the door exists with these little paintings on, that's what it's all about. But one of the things I did learn from this is that, although you might get upset about things whilst you're looking at them, like I wasn't on leave first day in, which was terrible. The logic and the reasoning behind it was, if I did my duty first day in, then I wouldn't be called on any time during the week, so that the family could be together. And as we only had a very short period of time, that's what it was all about. I just want to share that with you. Have a fantastic day. Have a peaceful day, and see you soon. And we'll have some more stories. Bless you all. Bye.